I spent this year chasing the top cards, ripping packs, spending money on this game, but something's got to change, man. NBA 2K26 is going to be different for me. It's going to be different for my gaming experience. It's going to be different for my channel. There's going to be a lot of changes, man. So in this video, I'm going to go over exactly what's going to be changing next year. Some things for the good, some things maybe for the bad, depending on who you are, depending on who you ask. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to throw some gameplay over some so you don't got to sit here and stare at my face the whole time. And let's talk. First, before we do get started, I do want to give a shout out to the members of this channel. We do got 7 now. My boy Marcus Warner being the most recent. Then we got SA Crimes, Large Infant, my boy Ghost. My boy Ghost has been here for a long time. Then we got Tyrese, J-Dub, and Triple J. Shouts out to y'all for being in the Invincible. Shouts out to y'all for being part of the Gaming Dad fam. I appreciate y'all. Salute. So this whole topic, first of all, let me say this. I do not have any issues with people who spend money on this game. Some of my close friends spend money on this game. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you're the reason the game's bad. That's not my prerogative, okay? I know there are a lot of people out here, including some other friends of mine, that are super anti-money spent. That's not me. I'm making a personal choice for myself, okay? So it all started with this tweet by All That Jazz. He summarized it perfectly, and honestly, it hit home for me. He said, my thoughts on spending on 2K. I've been a whale by all accounts in terms of finances since I started playing this game. I then went through a rough patch financially and I never saw coming. I'm now financially very strong again, but I'm spending $40K a year on my mom's care. It's not about what you can do now, it's about what the future holds. If I couldn't pay for my mom's care because I was addicted to spending thousands on virtual cards, I would be ashamed of myself. Pocket watching is a term used by people who are being reckless to discourage people who know better from giving advice to those who need it, especially youngers. I will never tell someone how to spend their money, but I will provide guidance from my experience rather than high-five strangers on the internet for spending on virtual cards. At my stage in life and with my experience is my duty, and I'll never be any different. So reading this tweet made me realize let me say this, let me be transparent. In this year's 2K cycle, I've never been in a spot where I financially could not spend money on this game. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was rich by any means, but I wasn't putting other things to the side. You know, my bills are paid. You know, I have date nights with wifey. I spoil my kids, you know, so I never, well, you know, I wasn't broke, but I'm also not prepared for a disaster, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. If some shit hit the fan, I'd be screwed. Now, I'm not talking about a pop tire, you know, I'm talking about something, you know, a little bit bigger than that. Y'all know my motto, the parlay hits, you know, we must rip. That's been my motto all year. I've decided, you know, I'm still gonna gamble. I'm a gambling man. I'm pretty good at it. But instead of putting that money into, you know, 2K, I'm putting that money other places. I'm, you know, saving a good chunk of it. I'm buying stuff that I can physically hold that I've been wanting. Upgrades for my setup, you know, stuff that I want, stuff that my wife wants, stuff that my kids want, stuff like that. So, but most of it's going to be getting saved. Let me put it that way. And this is no shots at anybody by any means. Like I said, if you got it, you know your situation better than I know your situation. And, you know, I would advise people not to put themselves in debt over it, which, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm hoping people don't do that. But if you got it, do your thing, man. So that's the direction I'm going. Now let's talk about my channel next year. I've just done some deep thinking, guys. This past year, I've worked harder than I've ever worked on this YouTube channel. I'm talking about late nights, hours on top of hours on top of hours on top of my regular job. And it shows. The channel grew tremendously. I've made more money on this channel than I've ever made in this past year. I got my biggest payout this month. So I put the work in, but I just sat back and I looked at it. I'm doing this as a job, not for fun. And the amount of money I'm making for it as a job isn't it, bro. It's not it at all. And I look at the state of 2K content creation as a whole. There are people that can do it full time. You know, there are people that are doing it full time, like JC, who's putting in a tremendous amount of work. You know, he grinds day in, day out. Like 5 or 6 videos a day, it seems like. That's a full-time job in itself. And I just don't see myself being in a situation where I could do that. And this is no shade at JC. That's just not the kind of videos I want to make. Also, I like to make creative videos. I like to make informative videos. You know, I'm not good enough at the game to make tier lists or gameplays and stuff like that. And those are the only kind of videos you can really make 5 of a day. So you might be asking yourself, what does this mean? Is Gaming Dad stopping 2K YouTube? No, I'm not stopping it. My goal as of now, y'all know I flip-flop. That's why it's taking me a long time to make this video. Let me see, how many days has it been since I made a video besides the podcast? It has been 10 days since I made a video that wasn't the podcast. I've been thinking on this quite a bit. But y'all know I flip-flop. But what does this mean for the channel? Next year, I'm not saying I'm stopping doing videos. I want to focus more towards streaming. The reason why is because making these videos takes away from me playing the game to enjoy myself. I'm not making enough money for this to be a full-time job. You know, to be fully transparent, like $200 a month or something like that, which, you know, I appreciate. I appreciate it. But for that, I'd much rather make less money, maybe even no money, to be honest with you guys, and just stream. Because the people that really, I pull good views on my videos, but the people I see commenting all the time that really like my videos are the people that really like my stream. And I feel like, don't take this the wrong way, y'all gonna say pause. I feel like streaming is a lot more of an intimate experience where I get to talk to you guys one-on-one. And that's why you guys like me streaming a lot more than the videos. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think streaming is the best move moving forward for me, for y'all, and I think just for my sanity, to be honest. That's why, I don't know if you guys have noticed, this past like month or even maybe a month and a half, I've slowed down tremendously. I grinded my ass off this year for 2K and I'm burnt out. I'm really burnt out. So I might flip-flop next year. Who knows? I might come out doing a bunch of videos, especially at the beginning of the year, because who knows. But my goal next year is to stream more, make less videos. The podcast isn't going anywhere unless one of the podcast members has something to say that I'm unaware of. The podcast ain't going nowhere. We're gonna still do the podcast. I'm gonna still stream. I'm just gonna try and make it more enjoyable for myself. Okay, guys, that's my ramble. I just want to kind of speak my thoughts and get your guys' opinions. How do you guys feel about this? Are you guys rocking with the streams or are you guys rocking with the videos? I appreciate y'all, man. As always, y'all have made this last year, this last 2K cycle amazing. I've gotten a lot closer to so many of you guys and I wouldn't trade it in for the world, man. Y'all are real ones. I'm not gonna say any names because there's too many. All right, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. As always, y'all be safe. Peace.